As the sun sets on Adelaide's CBD, these women are just warming up. They're bonded by a love of running. But that's not the only reason they stick together.
You are on alert. You know, you're never on your phone, you don't have your headphones in, you're sort of always just looking, oh, there's a car there, is there anyone in there? You know, there's a person walking across the road. It's always there.
The fear is there for good reason.
There have been a couple of women runners in our group who have been attacked out on a run.
One member was grabbed by a masked attacker while jogging alone metres from home. She managed to fight the man off and flee, but the experiences of those who've been targeted have had an effect on the wider group.
Knowing that they'll be frightened, knowing that they may not want to, we try really hard to make sure they do come out. We organise group runs, buddy runs.
It's not just female runners who report feeling unsafe at night. Researchers at Monash University partnered with women's charity Plan International to survey women in Melbourne about their experiences in public after dark.
A lot of young women, though, tell us that they are so used to being sexually harassed or having unsafe experiences that they just really see it as part of their everyday experience.
The survey participants were asked to enter into a phone app how safe they felt at various locations. The researchers then worked with engineers to examine the lighting.
Public transport space is very busy, but it's the overcrowdedness of public transport spaces which are very precarious for women.
The survey also asked women to report how the lighting in each location made them feel.
But the women were kind of wanting to think about those alcove spaces, I did hear that.
The researchers then worked with lighting engineers to more closely examine 84 sites. Their findings were stark.
Brighter spaces aren't necessarily safer spaces, and that's something that was quite clear in the research.
The research found where very bright areas dropped away to very dark ones, respondents felt less safe. The theory is people know their eyes will take time to adjust to the different lighting, and while that happens, they're more vulnerable to attack. Researchers hypothesised that women prefer lighting which helps illuminate faces, but that's not necessarily the case. Women in the study weren't that concerned about being able to make out someone's face from afar. Far more important was being able to distinguish between objects, say a person and a bush. Lighting that isn't natural makes that much harder for the eye to judge, and according to the study was strongly correlated with feeling unsafe. None of those measures are accounted for in Australia's 20-year-old national lighting standards, which focus purely on brightness.
The last iteration was 1999, so they're due for a refresh. They're getting refreshed at the moment, but it's really only to incorporate the advent of LED technology.
Engineer Tim Hunt says a more nuanced approach is needed.
It's definitely not going to always cost more money. In fact, if some of the spaces are deemed to be overlit, then not only are you going to save cost by not putting in more lights, but you'll save energy too. It's about using different colours. It's about using surface reflectance and actually understanding, is the pathway black or is it white?
But the debate over light and shade is not all black and white. While standards might need improving, the researchers say town planners need to include more women in planning decisions.
Traditionally, we know that cities have been designed by men and for men, and so women's voices haven't really been understood and included.
Associate Professor Nicole Kalms points to the example of Vienna. The Austrian capital has made a concerted effort to centre women in city planning for over 20 years.
Lighting was a dominant way of addressing issues of safety in the city, and that city has been able to track how that's increased women's participation in public life, both in the daytime and in the night times.
For these women, lighting design is important, but a more fundamental societal shift is needed.
We're not coming out here to do anything but run for ourselves, and until that message gets across that it's not women who have to change their attitudes, it's men, I don't see a lot changing.
Still a long road ahead. Gabriella Marchant, ABC News, Adelaide.